It's muted. Hey, welcome to another Saturday, everybody, and a big hello to you, and a big hello to everyone else that's in the chat room, and the guys that are here. And we'll start off with magic button, Darren. Just as while
G'day.
Darren's getting everything ready. How's your week been?
Okay, I suppose. Yeah, it's not been bad. Not been bad. Could have been worse.
It's good to have you
It's been
back.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, lovely to see you again.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It's good to be back. Once again, right. Yeah, it's good to be back. So, yeah, all's good, hopefully.
Got some tracks planned or track planned for this weekend that we can plug? Or how are you going with that?
Yes, I mean, I've got quite a lot I could say. So, because I wasn't sure what I was going to carry on doing music or not. So it was like, having a bit of a pause for a bit.
Yeah.
But I've got a lot of stuff planned. I've got two big remixes coming out this year. I think Finn, if he's in the chat, Finn, I think we spoke about it probably last year. So there's that one coming out soon. And another one, which is an old 80s classic. I'm sure it's 80s. I think it was more of a pop electronic sound, but it's a remix I'm doing now. And it's a really tricky one because the bass line everyone will recognise, and I've tried to get rid of the bass line but still keep the vibe of the track. And that's going to be a big track, all being well. And then lots of other tracks that I just do for the channel. So tomorrow I think I've got my track from one of the albums that I'm doing, that No Techno album. So that'll be coming out tomorrow. So yes, lots to do.
Awesome. Well, that's really cool. And we'll come back and have a bit more of a chat about some of the other stuff. So definitely we'll pause that for a sec. And I'm just going to go across to Andy and welcome him. Thank you very much, Andy, for joining us. How's your week been?
It's been quite a nice week, actually. Been fairly quiet. Obviously, work finished yesterday officially, but this week's been pretty quiet with all of that. I only had to go into work the once. I've been sitting in here messing about with sounds, programming. I've been going through some of the sort of improvised noodlings I've been doing with just making sort of strange sounds and textures and chopping out sections and sort of making sort of samples, because I'm still trying to get myself around to properly working on this music for the Sheffield Lockdown Pictures exhibition, if ever that happens. I'm just still working on getting some stuff up together with that and just messing about. I spent a lot of time going through sort of news broadcasts and sampling words, like isolation, lockdown, or anything that was related to just individual words, and just sort of sampling them up and editing them. So nothing particularly, creative in the sense of there's a piece of music, but I've been trying to put in lots of sounds together, trying to get a decent sort of sample library up and running, so I can just sort of start building some ideas.
Oh, that sounds really, really interesting. And so when you say you're off work, that's the school holiday break. Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Well, officially, yesterday was officially the last day of term for us at the school I work at. We had a week longer than everybody else because we had an extra week holiday in October, so we had to keep going.
And what
So, yeah,
is it like a
officially
two?
school holidays.
Is it a 2 week or is it a longer period? How long's your holidays for?
It'll be 5. This will be 5 weeks
So
summer
it's
holiday.
a bigger one. Okay, cool.
We normally have 6, but this is 5 this year. So
Yeah, fantastic, awesome. Okay, all right. So, thank you everyone for joining, and I just quickly let you know that this is a show all about synthesizers, sequencers, music technology, Eurorack. We even do guitar pedals, but we don't plug them into guitars because that would just be boring. We plug them into synths, and we do other sort of cool stuff as well. A lot of it's chatting, so this is not really the demo-y sort of show. If you're into that, there's edited videos on my channel. You can watch those. But this week, the topic is, if you haven't seen it already, we're going to talk about desert island synths. Now, we're going to get to that in a sec. So what we're going to do first, though, is we've got a regular bunch of segments that we like to show each week. And I like to punish people through these segments. And we'll start off with the first one, which is called FunnySide. And yes, you have reached the end of the internet where apparently stranger things can happen. And this is one of the strange things. How's that one for you, Andy? You brought that one in. Do you want to introduce this one?
Oh, I made that quite a while ago, actually, when I first got onto Facebook. It was the first idea that popped into my head, and I was... it just sort of sums that machine up, really. So I was really just being very silly.
Do we have Robbie in the house? He loves his DX7s.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I kind of share a bit of Robbie, and I share a bit of your pain as well. So I've visited both sides of the devil, if you want to call it that. All right, moving on. That's a good one anyway. I like that one. It's good. It's DX7 with a meth addiction. Anyway, let's move on. We have got some 808 jokes now. So, yeah, or 909 jokes, I should say. Wonder what they sampled there. Do you reckon they sampled the snare? Or maybe they might have sampled his mustache. I don't know. Definitely interesting, that one. We'll keep going. I can't remember if I've shown this one or not, because it sat in my folder. Your call is very important to us, so please enjoy this 40-minute flute solo. Yeah, and normally, have you ever noticed the flute solo isn't a real flute, it's a synth? It's like general MIDI flute solo. Someone's got one of those old telephone systems that plays general MIDI files. You've got to be my age to get that one. And last but not least, yes, apparently this is the model samples from 2003. Oh, that's a bit mean. I've got one of these. I actually like my my ES Mark II. I think it's really cool. The only thing I don't like about it though is it's got that weird memory card in it. I think I've shown that before on the show. Yeah, guys, how did we go? Darren, did you like those? It brings you back to memories, mate.
Yes.
Seeing the memes. What was your favourite?
Yeah, the DX7, because I have one sort of up there, the Kimmy's Castle, but mine don't have all the keys on it, so it's a lot better to play and use.
Well, that one didn't have very many keys on it either, did it?
Exactly, it was getting towards that stage, wasn't it? Keyless.
You could squeeze it into a Eurorack somehow. Andy, what did you think, mate?
Oh, I thought the picture of the guy in his drum kit and that massive bass drum, thought that was funny. Well, the one about the flute solo, I've been on hold quite a lot recently whilst dealing with car insurance companies and this, that, and the other. And the last one, I had Pachelbel's Canon in D for 40 minutes.
Oh,
by which time I was just about to. I mean, it's a beautiful piece of music, but I don't need it for 40 whole minutes.
Yeah, no one needs Pachelbel for 40 minutes. Oh my god, I remember that. I think, was it Microsoft that brought that out? I think as you actually got Windows and it had the MIDI file loaded. I'm pretty sure it was Windows that it came with. Someone will correct me. Someone who's old like me will correct me. Anyway, what else have we got? Okay, next segment I think is news, so let's get stuck into that. Got a bit of news. Exciting news this week, I reckon, because it's kind of all over the shop. We've got a bit of synthy news, a bit of vocal news. Yeah, so we're kind of covering all facets, which is a little bit out of my sort of comfort zone. But anyway, let's roll with it. Guitar pedal first. We're going to start with this one, which is the Electro Harmonix, and I kind of started getting into loopers a little bit with obviously having the MPC and that, but there's a guy that you guys know that I talk regularly on the show, and his name's Andrew. He's from Australia. He's one of the MIDI guys. We've been talking about MIDI loopers, and there's also Dazza, who's also another Australian who absolutely loves using his Boss or Roland. What do you call it? That big looper thing with the 5 channels on it. RC 505. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of really the propeller spinning with these loopers. Anyway, we do have a video. So let's do that first. And geez, what's happened there? I've lost my. I need to maximize that. I haven't actually watched this yet, but let's give it a go. my God, there's a guitar. There he goes. Nothing like the ubiquitous back of the camera shot there. Thanks very much, EHX. I reckon that would actually be pretty cool with a synth. And sorry, but the fact that there's no synth example, because EHX are predominantly guitar people. But I don't know, guys. What do you think? 230, 220, somewhere around there, US dollars, which I think is pretty cool. And you can see that it does reverse. It's got octave shifting, and it's a whole bunch of editing features. I do like this sort of stuff. It's stereo as well, if you didn't pick that up, which is probably where I feel that it suits a synth. Anyone want to have a quick comment about the Looper from EHX? Who's into that?
Have you
Anyone?
got one of these? Have you got a looper, Darren?
No, I haven't. But I was looking into a while back. I was looking into getting guitar looper pedal, and I looked at. I think I looked at the Boss, the small one, and then I looked at the Electro Harmonix because they did. Was it the 360? I think it's called.
Yeah,
not sure. Before this one came out, so yeah, it's quite interesting. Quite interesting.
Yeah.
I'm quite interested in them as well. I mean, I've spent quite a lot of viewing time looking at various demonstrations of looper pedals. I mean, the one that I keep coming back to is there's a Boss one. It's in the same format as their remake of the tape delay. The is it? I can't remember what it's called now. But it's a 2-channel. It has two stereo channels. It's not as expensive as this Electro Harmonix one. It's about 135 pounds, something like that. And it seems like a really good deal, but I've not taken the plunge yet. I do think it would be a really interesting, very useful performance tool. So I'm quite into the idea, definitely. So
yeah,
I do keep watching.
Yeah,
I do keep watching different videos.
I think that's where I stopped because it's sort of more of a, probably suits you, Andy, it's more of a performance tool, whereas I'm not really a performance player, so it's like, would it really be handy for me, really? Because it's, I could, for how I work, I could just loop in Ableton in a way, so that's why I didn't actually go for the plunge. Yeah. I've not made this. If I was playing live, then yeah, I'd be seriously thinking about it, but that's why I sort of didn't hit the button, because it's not quite, I don't think, where I'm at the moment.
There's lots of them though, aren't there? There's quite a lot of different ones. Inverted Pokes has just mentioned the Ditto by, is it TC Electronic? Is that theirs? But
that was another one.
Range,
the Ditto.
You just got to go, this one. The Boss is the one that appears to me. I mean, I know that Daz has got that. Is it RC505, the one that's actually got the buttons which you would hit with your hands rather than with your feet?
Yeah.
And Gaz Williams has got the same one. That really appeals, but it's just that bit more expensive. And would I get the best out of it? I don't know. I think I'd rather like to dip my toes in first to see if I get on with it before taking the jump and buying a high end one. But certainly they're interesting. But
you don't want to
problems I do find is that is that a lot of the demonstrations like we've just seen, it's always guys on guitars doing what we've just seen, which is I think probably just about the least interesting way of demonstrating one of these pedals. There are some great people out there. I mean, we've seen, everybody from, Jamie Little and Beardy Man and all these people who use loopers to such great effect. And then you get these
Jamie's
guys
good.
Just, strumming away through with their guitar, which is nothing wrong with that. I mean, there's been loads of people who've used them so well. I mean, Ed Sheeran is just is a great example. He's built a career on using it. It's absolutely fabulous.
Yep.
What was I've forgotten the name now. But she appeared on Jules Holland's program, sort of launched her career. Can anybody remember who I'm talking about?
It's off the tip of my tongue, but I've got the memory blank. You put me on the spot. Yeah,
I can't
we'll come
remember.
back to it anyway.
So they are really interesting, creative things. So,
But anyway, we were talking about and you know, just so you guys know, no one's paying us to show these products, and I do like Electro Harmonix products. I actually build them really well.
yeah.
So you guys would have seen me showing the the Memory Boy Deluxe. What else did I have? Some other what was it? The Phaser pedal, Small Stone Nano, and those pedals are built so well. They're really, really well built. So anyway, check that out. For me, I'm kind of more. The reason why I like the looper stuff, I'm kind of getting into it with my Magneto by Strymon, because that's like a tape delay sort of looping sort of thing. It does have looping in it, which is actually really cool. There's an echo feature and a loop feature in that. And even I'm just pointing to the module because it's right there. Even the Scooper by Roland, the Ira Scooper, is actually a looper pedal with glitch effects on it too. So I love this stuff. So this is why I'm showing it. Anyway, let's move on to the next one, because we have to. This is by Zoom. This is their new vocal processor called the V3. Now, I think this is a really, really clever product, and I definitely think it's aimed at competing with TC Helicon and all their products. Now, if you do know Zooms have a product already out there called the V6, and if you know about it, you'll know it's a vocal processor as well. This one's a little bit different. It's like a little portable compact version, and it features multi algorithms as processors for vocals. It can be attached to a mic stand, which is one of the sort of benefits of it. I'll show you. I've got a little video on this. What else can I tell you? 16 effects. It's got a whole bunch of connectivity, including phantom power for your XLR mic, stereo input, and also stereo to 1/4 inch jack analog outputs. Plus, you can also use it as a audio interface, and it's not the greatest, but it's 44.1K 32-bit. That's not too bad. Anyway, let's have a look at the video. And if I press this magic button here, hopefully we get a video. Yes, we do. It is the right video. Good.
Check, better get your girlfriend.
You better get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up.
No, cause she's staring at me. Oh yeah, this is the one right here. Said you better get your girlfriend, cause she's staring at me. Said you better get your girlfriend, cause she's staring at me. I ain't even gotta hit
it. The first part of that video, a lot of you guys are going to relate to that. It's like whenever you get one of those vocal processor type things, even if it's a VST plugin, it's, you're like a little kid and you're making all these little kid sort of sounds with it. I loved how they did that. And then they actually kind of made him sound a little bit more sort of, semi-production and it kind of like, yeah, I've got this cool idea. Let's stand up now and make it sound a little bit better, more polished. I thought it was clever anyway. What did you guys think of that one? The Zoom V3. Who wants to go first?
I don't think it matters how good it is, because my voice just won't suit it no matter what.
There's a robot mode.
I mean, yeah. Well, I got that with the VT3 from Roland, and that never moved from there.
Fair enough.
It's.
Yeah,
I think
just...
if you're a
sorry.
vocalist, I think you'll be all right.
Sorry, Darren. You go.
No, I was just saying. I think if you're a vocalist and you like doing it, I think it'll come in handy. And it's, to be honest, actually, I probably would try putting some synths through it.
Yeah.
Not my voice.
Yeah. Yeah, it could be interesting. Andy.
I noticed that Asio had mentioned Share. I heard, I believe by Share on the radio the other day for the first time in ages. And it came out. I think it came out in 1999, and that effect, that sort of glitched vocal effect, which was sort of, I think they used an old Digitech box or something, which
with the auto tune. Yep.
This auto correct, and of course it was very basic and therefore very glitchy. And they discovered that actually it was a pretty cool effect. But has it not been done to death over the last 20 years? Really, I mean, is it not time to start moving away from that? If it had a harmonizing section which was really smooth, rather than giving that horrible stepped nature to the vocals, I think it would sound much better. I mean, I was listening to Clannad. One of my fave, sort of my guilty pleasures is listening to Clannad, particularly those great big mass vocal tracks that they do, like Harry's Game and Cash Lanor, and the harmonies there. Now it's covered, absolutely covered. It's obviously a stack load of Eventides when they were done back in the 1980s. These tracks, but they sound absolutely lush, really, really wonderful. Even to this day, they just sound fantastic. But if you had a little box that could turn an average singer like me into Clannad, I'd be there. They'd have my money. There's my money. Just turn me into Clannad. That'd be brilliant. But I don't believe that anyone's ever managed it.
We should rename the show. Turn me into Clannad.
Turn me into Clannad. Well, anyway. I had Turn Me Into Tangerine Dream for the Beat Step Pro, didn't I? And that didn't work. But Turn Me Into Clannad with a vocal processor, that would be tops.
It does have the harmonizer or harmony thing, and it's got a whole bunch of other effects on there as well. Some of them are definitely cheesy. I agree with everyone in the chat. But look, it's worth checking out. Look, it's not as action packed. Look, this thing's only €254. So
exactly. If it's what you want, and at that price, you can afford to shell it out and say, right, okay, I've got these what are probably quite
so it's what
high end effects.
About the same price as a VT3, isn't it? VT4. No, I think they're called now. So it's about the same price as a VT4. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but it's definitely cheaper than the TC Helicon products. So you got to weigh it up. If maybe not the best video, but look, it made me laugh, and I thought I've got to show this. So
he was funny, wasn't he?
It was funny.
He looked like the sort of bloke you wouldn't want to mess with, though, didn't he?
Yeah.
Even though he had a sweet voice.
I was hoping he was going to sting Dreadlock Holiday, saying he doesn't like cricket or something. But anyway, let's keep moving on. This is the news from Akai, and yes, if you actually keep getting ear bashed by me about how cool the MPC is, well, maybe this might be a free way of you maybe checking out. I don't know, if you're into software, you may or may not like it. You might be a hardware guy. But anyway, this is a bit of free software that's come out from Akai. It's called the MPC Beats. Now, I believe they showed this earlier this week on Sonic State. So I do apologize if I'm showing it again, but I thought it was pretty cool, and it kind of is definitely worthy of showing Andy again, because I like Andy's cool. We're not going to play 16 minutes, that's for sure.
Welcome to this overview of MPC Beats. MPC Beats is a new music production software that's absolutely free, giving you the feel and groove of the MPC workflow. If you're a new music producer or beat maker starting out your musical journey, then MPC Beats will give you all the tools you need. From MIDI to audio tracks, plug-in instruments and effects, and a sound library designed by world-class sound designers. MPC Beats can run on your desktop fully standalone or as a plugin inside your favorite DAW. MPC Beats delivers everything from sample chops to MPC swing and quantize to a world of producer expansion packs, enhancing your productions.
All right, thanks, Akai. But I guess the kind of cool thing about this, and if I can try and get the right graphic, is you can sit on your outdoor furniture. No, the cool thing about this is that it comes with free sound packs. It includes all of that sample chopping and stuff. It can be used as a VST inside your DAW as well, so you kind of can work inside. But that so's the MPC 2.0 software as well. But I think it's quite clever what Akai are doing here, guys. And I think strategic would probably be a good word for this, because if you're trying out the whole MPC world, this could then sort of be a stepping stone for you to go, yeah, look, I like the way this is heading, but I need more, or I need more features. And then you could probably sort of look at their MPC 2.0 software, or you could even go into their hardware, looking at the Force or the MPC Live or the MPC-X even, or even the MPC-1. So I think it's very clever. And the fact that they've included some free, sort of sound packs in there is good. You can buy more as well. So there's, some money making. Anyway, guys, what do you guys think about maybe downloading that and trying it out and sort of getting to see how you feel with the MPC world? I'm going to start with you, Darren, because I'm always harping about MPCs for you.
It's free, so why not? Whether you've, like I say, it's anything that's free and it's going to get you into that, yeah, definitely. It's a no-brainer, really, isn't it? And if you don't like it, you've not paid anything for it. But if you do like it, like you say, you can move on through and then probably drift into the hardware as well. So I think, yeah, a good way of doing things. I think more places should do that. If you set you off free, it's going to get you hooked into that that environment that they're trying to sell, and you either go with it or you don't. But you're not wasting any money that way.
It's kind of like Ableton Lite, isn't it? Ableton Live Lite.
Yeah.
In a way. Yeah.
It's best. I think that's the best way to get you into it, and you can make your own mind up, and you've not spent money, which makes you feel like you should be liking the product because you've spent money on it.
Yeah. Awesome. And Andy, what about you? Would you download this, do you reckon, or?
Well, given my interest in going down this particular path with MPC hardware, maybe it's a bit of a no-brainer. I only have my only question is whether the computer that's sitting in front of me now is powerful enough to run it effectively, and the only way to find that out is to actually download it and try. So, and as Darren said, if it doesn't cost anything, why not? So
Exactly.
when this is done, when we're done and dusted here, I shall probably nip onto Akai's website and see if I can get it and make it work. See what happens. It might be the gateway drug.
It might be. I'm going to put a link for you guys to do that in the description. Once the video is finished, I'll quickly re-edit,
Cool.
and you'll be able to just click on that. Okay, moving on. Guys in chat too, let us know your opinions about that idea. I think that's the last one. I think is worth talking about. Look, I don't normally like to sort of bash along with the Behringer sort of gravy train that they like to talk about, but I thought this one's worthy. Only mainly because they're using a guy from AMS Synths, who's a decent fella from the UK. He makes really, really good ARP modules already. So they're partnering with him, and this is probably making this possible for Behringer. I don't reckon it would be otherwise, because his knowledge is very, very good. Now, what's so good about this is, I don't know if you guys remember, but I showed how much an ARP 2500 was on the the price watch not that long ago. It was incredibly expensive. This will be pretty much the same sound as what you're going to get out of one of those. Okay, yeah, it's not going to be the same form factor. Yes, it's not going to look like mission control from NASA. But if you're just making music and you want that 2500 sound, if you want that Jean-Michel Jarre early days type stuff, this is going to be it. I'm just interested to know everyone's opinion about this. Now, while we've got this one up, I thought we could throw a little bit of controversy into the wind while we're at it. So during the week, I noticed this post came up in... I'm just going to find it quickly. You know what I hate is I can't find the downloads button on my computer when I need it in a hurry. There we go. And bang. Now, I don't know if this is going to show up. I'll maximize it. See down the bottom in the highlighted yellowy, bad job of highlighting. It says, I've crossed the guy's name out, but it says they're thieves and they're after cheap asses, and there are many. Some people may get offended by that, because I know there's people in here that buy Behringer gear. But yeah, how does it make Behringer thieves? How does it make them? How does it make, if I buy this, how does that make me a cheap ass? I think these sort of I see these sort of comments a lot. Like there's definitely companies that are fueling these, because they want to take the coin away from Behringer, because Behringer are getting coin, or these just some idiot who, has an alpaca farm. Sorry to all the alpaca farmers out there, but you know what I mean? Like, that sort of crazy sortness. What do you guys think? Who wants to have a comment about that?
I think they're onto a winner again. Absolutely onto a winner. If they can actually get that to market, I think they'll do very well out of it. And the ARP 2500 has not been available to buy by anybody for such a long time that actually it really is, it's public domain. I mean, ARP are definitely no more. They're not treading on anybody's toes with this. And I think, nobody's forcing anybody to buy Behringer products. You buy them because they suit you at the time, they suit your price point. We know that they're built to a budget. Everybody that's bought any Behringer stuff knows that they're buying gear that's built to a budget. But those of us that have got some, we know that it's built well. When I pointed to my Pro One up here, Ramsey, you've got a whole rack full of stuff. We know that it's built well, and I can't understand why people constantly badmouth Behringer for doing it. You can badmouth them for making a load of crap mixing desks. That's fine, because they did. But the synth stuff that they've produced has been extremely good, and I think we do them a disservice. Other manufacturers could have jumped in and produced stuff that people have been harping on about. We want this. We know people want the old vintage gear. I know it's not moving things on. I know it's hardly going to be revolutionary in the world of synthesis. But some of us who still dwell in the past somewhat will look at this and go, "Oh yeah, that is just great." They've done it with the System 100M. They're doing it with the System 55 for Moog, and now they're doing it with the ARP 2500. Bloody genius in my view. Get on with it and let me have some.
Yeah. There's a System 100M there in all its glory.
Yeah, it looks beautiful.
There you go.
It looks absolutely stunning. And whenever you demonstrate it, Ramsey, it sounds great too. What more could you want? Looks good, sounds good, doesn't cost the earth.
And
they deserve to sell shed loads of them.
And even floating modules like that. No, just...
You need some more Nurleys.
No, I'm taking it out because I'm tuning it at the moment. Darren, did you want to... That was well said, Andy, by the way. Darren, did you want to make a comment?
Well, I think Andy said it all really, except for leave the alpaca farmers out of it, because that's what I was going to do instead of music.
I knew I'd step my feet in it. There we go. I'm always good at stepping my feet in things. Beautiful. Nothing wrong with alpaca farmers. I saw some on the holiday last week, and I actually fed a couple.
The farmers or the alpacas?
No, I fed the alpacas. They like carrots for some reason. I never knew that. I thought they would have eaten wheat or, I don't know, grass or something. But anyway, they like carrots. There you go. If you're ever wondering what to do with your carrot scraps, go find an alpaca farm. And you've heard this first. No. Let's keep going. Dear me. We have got another segment to go through.
Said it goes all over the place.
Yes, we have some scams out there, and this week we are not going to fail in delivering. There are some beauties. Have a look at this one, and this is my friend. I think it was Ken Flux with it that gave me this one. So where's my special button gone? There it is. It's a Behringer RD9 or 909 clone. Now this is the prototype that's been floating around, and these guys are trying to sell it.
It's likely stolen.
And it's likely stolen, or someone's been naughty trying to offload. Probably doesn't even work. It's probably one of those ones where just only the lights work and there's no sound that comes out the back. But you know how they show them at Super Booth and stuff like that. So yeah, buy it now for £1,000. Or you could just wait about 3 months, then you'll probably be able to get it for £200-300. Anyway, these are brilliant.
Is it the
these
one
ones.
that Gaz Williams stole?
I don't want to say anything. I like Gaz. He's a good fella.
Sorry, Gaz.
All right.
Actually, that was the 808, wasn't it? He stuck it under his arm and ran out of the hall with it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that was a bit of a joke, though. Okay, we shall move along. This one was pretty good. Boss DS1 distortion pedal. Now, okay, so it's going to be hard to read this, right? But down the bottom, it says that, no joke, Jimi Hendrix, can't even spell that properly, real one, no joke, minimum wear, and I just love the description is great condition, fully functioned, very rare, and rare spelt really, really, really cleverly, R-A-E-R, with lots of exclamation marks. Also owned by, that's right, I can't, it's Bony Part. This is why I like it, it's so funny. Also owned by Napoleon Bonaparte. Bony Part. This is just hilarious. Sorry, anyway, that was $71 Australian is actually not the scam. It's just so funny, this listing.
There's the last line there. It was signed by all three, but it came off in the Tunguska tsunami. I mean, Tunguska's in the middle of Siberia. They're not going to get sick. It's absolutely genius. Someone's had a great time making that up. That is brilliant.
This is a really, really
That should have been on your funny side, Rans. That's the funniest one we've seen in ages.
Well, the whole show's funny. I mean, you've got the stupidest host in the world anyway, haven't you? So, anyway, do you guys want to buy the distortion pedal that's owned by Napoleon Bonaparte? Find it on eBay. Yay.
You can have one owned by me. I got the black and gold, a limited edition.
Show it again.
I got the black and orange.
Hold it up. Up higher. Keep going. There you go.
Yeah.
Hey. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Does it distort?
But I haven't got one there. Yeah.
I was in the shop one day. It's a stupid thing. That's why I asked that. And I was literally I was buying something for synth related, and then I just heard this guy in the guitar section saying to the guy, "Does it distort though?" And this guy's looking at him going, "What?" It was hilarious. We had a little laugh after he left. Anyway, we won't bash the guitarists. They're a funny group. All right, we have reached the coolest part of the show, and that's where we're going to go. No, just joking. This is the bit where we talk about desert island synths, and I don't know. I like the idea as a topic. So. What should we do? Should we ask so the chatties who are watching down below, you can see yourselves. In fact, I can press this button here. There we go. Don't worry about that thing down the bottom. It's an old one. So yes, tell us. There's two answers you can give us, or you can just give us one or two. First question is, what would be your desert island synth? And the second question is, which is maybe the same answer to the first, but it may not be. Out of the synths that you have right now, what would be, if you were forced to leave your house and you could only take one synth with you, what would that be? That would technically be a desert island synth, right? So there's your question. Flood the chat with it. Don't forget to flag my name. Just do the @Ranzy thing in the YouTube chat and it will come up. Right. Now, Darren and Andy, do you guys want to have a crack at doing this first, or do you want me to go first? Who's ready?
Ooh.
Darren,
are you ready?
Because you've got a lot more synths.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Andy's going. Go.
I've got more synths than you. I haven't, Darren.
No, Randy's got more
Island.
synths.
Oh, you want me to go?
Oh, Randy, right. Well,
Yeah, that's what.
Okay, all right.
So, unless Andy wants to go first.
No, I'll go first. Andy can have a think for a second. Sorry, Andy. Okay, mine.
Thinking time required. Yeah.
Yeah. Pro one. No, just joking. No, mine will probably be.
Oh, you've just blown it.
Yeah, I've just blown it, Andy. Mine will probably be the Roland System 8 at the moment. The one that I've got in possession. that I actually, if I was to sort of throw everything out. Now, isn't that funny? It's a digital synth. But the reason why I would take that one is because I actually feel that it's got a lot of sonic capabilities in it. So I wouldn't get bored quickly with it. I've got FM, I've got subtractive synth, I can emulate Jupiters and Junos, and I've even got the JX3P plug out loaded in there. And it's also got its own System 8 engine as well. Plus I can do things like have an FM oscillator and run it through a Jupiter filter. So for me, like, it's about being able to sort of create sounds and not get bored easily. It has patch memory, it's digital, it's light. It's not gonna, weigh me down if I have to carry it through long distances. But anyway, yeah, so that's mine. Okay, Andy, you're next. Go.
Okay, so we've got two categories. The synth that you would like to have with you on a desert island. For me, it would have to be something that can do everything. Somebody in the chat's already mentioned something like the Korg Kronos. That sort of thing would be ideal, or a highly spec groove box. So oddly enough, something like the MPCs that we're talking about, that would be what you'd need. Something that you can actually sit and use and make full tracks out of. So something like that. So from my point of view in here, if I was taking one thing out of here, little Electribe synth, if I could grab the sampler as well at the same time, I'd grab the two, and that would give me a little system that I could use. Yeah, I think that they would go.
Okay.
In terms of what I would rescue from in here, I think of all the stuff that I would rescue, it's probably the Novation Supernova to my right here. That because I've got quite a long-standing relationship with this machine. It's as frustrating as anything that I've ever owned, but I still love it. You might be surprised and say that, no, I'd leave the bloody Pro 1 over there to melt in case of fire. And I know I could probably pick up another bit. But no, I think the Supernova would be my thing of rescue, or my W30, which is propped up down the hallway. They would be my rescue synths. But yeah, I think in terms of an ideal desert island synth, a pretty highly spec'd. Oh, we've got to use Gaz Williams' new word, haven't we? We've got to use them infinity machines from now on. So an infinity machine rather than a groove box. I mean, because I think that would be mine.
Fair enough. Okay. All right. So we went with the Electribe, and then we went with the Supernova. So, Mike.
In summary, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful. Darren, let's give you a go.
Mine would be tricky, actually. If it was to take one from in the studio, would probably. I know it's going to sound. Could I take the modular?
Yes.
I'll take the modular if I had a recorder with it. Yeah, it's a bit heavy though. I could take I'll take the modular with a recorder. I think closely followed by the Juno. And if it was something that I haven't got yet, I would probably think either a Hydrasynth or the Waldorf Iridium.
Iridium, yeah. So the Hydrasynth is getting. So it actually surprised me. So we'll finish with Darren's answers first. So the Eurorack was a great answer, I think, because you're kind of you're giving yourself a lot of flexibility as long as you've got the modules there to keep you busy. You don't want to be stuck
and
with
the patch cables.
Yeah, you don't want to be stuck with just a nifty case and no patch cables or something. Yeah, that'd kind of suck. And I do think the Hydrasynth is a good option. Surprised you didn't say the Juno, but anyway, that's fine.
Well, I wondered, but the problem is with the Juno, I'm a bit like Andy. I need to make more. You know what I mean? I'd need to create more rather than just have a synth. Because you're taking the System 8, so you can, it's multi-trimble. You can sequence stuff as well on there.
Yep.
The Juno would be great. I love.
Pretty crappy sequencer.
But it's still there. But the Juno would be great. But after a while, you're gonna want more.
Yes. Right. Okay. Now, Okay, we've got heaps of people making comments in chat, so let's get through some of these. Okay, we'll go back a little way. So where did we kind of start? We started with...
it'd be interesting to see some of the suggestions.
Nord Modular, so as your head says, he owns it because you can build loads of synths with it. A good suggestion. Definitely a good suggestion.
Need a computer to go with it, though.
Nick is saying DeepMind 12. Okay, good suggestion. DeepMind 12 is a nice synth, yeah, and it's got a lot of effects in it. So probably one of the strong points is the effects engine, and the modulation matrix in there is pretty cool. JX3D is saying a Hydra synth, so there's your first Hydra synth. There's a couple more that have mentioned it as well. Finn is saying if none is no object, then it has to be multi-timbral. So let's see what he said a bit later. Kronos is too big. OP1 from Howard.
You can get a 5-octave Kronos.
Yeah, you could. ACO said if I asked Ty Unwin's question, his head would explode. No, he would just be sad, wouldn't he? It'd be like telling the kid that you can't go in the candy store. Wagoo said, "I'll have a Yamaha GX1 if there is electricity." Yeah, just assume this. Just so everyone, assume you can record and assume there's electricity. All right, so don't worry about that sort of stuff. This is just about something that makes your sounds. Yeah, that's a good one.
GX1.
Probably Quantum.
Who's going to carry it for him?
Sally B, which I have a feeling might be Axel's because has mentioned the Quijada. So I don't know if we've got an Axel Soft in disguise there or not. Yes, whoever that is. Steve Elbows has said Quantum. Hydrosynth again from Finn. Yeah, Hydrosynth is a good one. Iridium's good as well. That's kind of like Quantum. So yeah, it looks like a lot of people are kind of along the same lines, and it's a good discussion. But I think the whole point of this is to try and get you to think, okay, look, what have I got here in my studio? If I was to really force myself to make music, forget about the desert island. Let's just say, right, you will make a track next week, and you can only use one synth to make that track. What would you use? What would be the first one you'd go to? And it's kind of the same question. So what this is doing is
MC303.
This is getting you guys to think a little bit about trying to get to know your gear. Yeah, MC303, awesome.
Yeah.
No, just stick it in the freezer again.
Dear. Well, yeah.
You're a daft boy.
We talked about alpaca farms before. If you had no electricity, you could get them to generate some with their poop. Anyway.
Methane madness.
Methane madness. So, yes. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I did think about this quite a lot during the week, and I thought I actually didn't originally have the System 8 as my answer. I actually was going to say the Novation Peak at one stage. It was really close between those two. And I also thought about Modular 2, Darren, as well. I thought, yeah. But what stopped me with Modular was I don't have enough Modular yet.
But you can never have enough Modular.
It's the problem with it. But,
it doesn't matter.
I won't lie, though.
I just see what Sally B's just put in there.
Yes.
I think that's an admission.
This, believe it or not, even though this is a mono synth, it's got two oscillators. You can make it probably, paraphonic if you wanted to. There's a lot of sonic capabilities with 1, 2, 3, 4.
Duophonic, though, couldn't you?
Yeah.
You could make that duotimbral. So.
Yep. Paraphonic, yeah.
Yeah.
So
very, very cool.
I mean, just with that, the fact that this has got sample and hold, it's got ring mod, it's got 2 LFOs, it's got 2 envelope generators, 2 VCOs, 2 filters, 2 oscillators. You could stay on a desert island for a good couple of weeks without getting too bored with that, I think. So
you would need some effects, though.
Well, technically, you've got effects, this is a good question. Okay, so Darren said you'd need effects, and Rand said you don't. So what effects does this have already without having to go out and get anything else to bring into it? What has this got already?
Well, I was going to ask you, Randy, if you were going to get the actual effects module that comes with it, because there is one that's got
they haven't made it yet.
Phase and Bucket Brigade. Is it not out yet?
No, they haven't made it yet. I've got the Roland version of it, the System 500. Sorry, I'm pointing, and you guys can't see me pointing. It's right there, and it's called a 572. So the Behringer one will be called the 172, and it's got a phase delay, LFO, and a gate delay in it, and it'll probably be pretty much the same. But okay, so let me just bring you back to that shot again. So guys in chat, tell me what you think of that System 100M. What effects does that already have in it? I can tell you it's got at least, I'd say at least 4 effects in there. At least 4. And there's probably more that I'm not even thinking of. Let's see if anyone can come up with that. So don't forget to flag my name if you want me to sing out your answer. Darren, have you had a think?
Sorry, I was just reading the chat.
Have you got retrigged envelopes on it? Do they repeat?
Yeah,
repeating
I think
envelopes?
I'm sure I've seen that.
Okay, so you'd need one more module to do it, and I'll show you which one it is. It's the quad gate. Well, technically, you could probably use an LFO to retrigger an envelope as well. So this would be better though, because this has got the active high and active low set up with the gate, so you can actually get your envelope to retrig using the active high and active low. And if you're actually interested in seeing that, there's a video coming out on my channel in a few days that will show how I do that with the envelope generator module, which is the 1401 here. But anyway, getting back to the question, what effects are on there already? Because Darren said I needed effects. So, ring mod, yes, Finn is correct. Inverted popes is also correct. That's the first one. What else? Wonder if anyone's going to get the most obvious one. Wonder if anyone's going to get that.
The most obvious one.
Yep, the most obvious effect that's on there. Come on, guys, you're all synth people. You should know. I'm just going to leave that shot up so you can have a study. Nice and clear. Look, it's live. Would you like me to move things about?
I've got me chat in the way of that. Half of that.
Adamski's got it. Adamski's got it.
Hold.
Adamski's got it. Cross mod.
Modulation.
Yep. Sync. Oscillator sync.
I don't think of that as an effect. I think of that as an effect. I think of that as an integral part of the synthesis path.
It's an effect.
I was looking for sort of like Bucket Brigade delays.
You know why? You know why it's an effect? Because you can use it. Because you can use the oscillator sync with not just the oscillator. You can use it with the filter. You can use it with the VCA. You can even use it with your envelope, as long as it's got those other CV inputs in it.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let me be more precise, shall we?
Yeah. Darren?
Let me be more precise. When I say effects, basically I just want a massive, big, lush reverb and mega long delays that go on forever.
Yeah. So you want a big slide?
I'm with you. Chuck in a good phaser as well, and we're happy. Reverb, delay, phasers. Yeah. Thanks very much. The rest of that, I think of sort of cross modulation, sync. I think of that as actually part of the synthesis architecture. I don't think of it as an effect. I know you can use it to affect other things, but to me, effects is something that you sort of slap on at the end to make it sound nice. If you know what I mean.
Yeah. Sorry, I actually.
Maybe I think that's what.
Sorry, I had you on.
No, I think that's where it was going,
Andy.
That's all right. Not that vein.
Okay.
No, that's where it was going. That's where I think Andy was going. Well,
ring.
Wagyu says the island is getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah. And you've got sample and hold as well. Is sample and hold an effect? You know,
it's a process.
Is it an
effect?
It is. Is using amplitude modulation on your filter or on your envelopes, is that an effect? is
Well, a cut-off's an effect as well, isn't it? So, I mean, it depends
so-
on where you're going.
so in those filters, there's no drive, right? There's no overdrive, but you can, using a VCA,
Do I
overdrive the
see.
filters, right? So there's
But
no
you've got res and you've got cut-off, which are effects anyway. So, if you're
Yeah.
going that way, I think we was more on the sort of after your synthesizer, at the end of your
I knew what you
synthesizer,
meant.
effects on the
Yeah.
back of that.
I knew what you meant, but I was just being nerdy. So don't forget, you can overdrive your filter using a VCA, and and if you don't have a VCA, you can't overdrive your filter. Well, maybe not. Think about another way of doing that. You could. So
You were leading us up the garden
You
path
could
there,
just
Ramsey.
stick on
yeah.
a,
Hey, look,
a
Adamski said
distortion.
Adamski says tremolo. You could.
Maybe a red one,
An
an orange
LFO.
one.
An LFO makes tremolo. So there you go. Look, there's plenty. That's what I'm saying. That if you had even just that, I'm not trying to sell the Behringer modules here, by the way. You could have the Roland System 500 kit as well. We'll do the same thing. If you just had a very basic analog Eurorack module set up like that, you could spend quite a lot of time with sonic design on that. So even as we went out and we said, okay, I said System 8. Andy, you said your Supernova. Darren, you said like a Hydra synth or something like that. Those things are like big monolith type. You probably would never get bored with those either. But I think one of the things that what I'm trying to get everyone to think about is, even if you just grab one bit of your gear that you've got here, get to really know it, because that could be. It's actually a good segue to one of the other topics that I was actually asked to do, and we may do it very soon, and that is sound design. Okay, so that could be one of the first precursors to you wanting to go out and do sound design, and that is, strip it back to the basics and just sit in front of one piece of hardware and just see what you can do with it. See what you can do with it that's not written in the manual. See what you can do with it outside the square.
Or you could just go to Desert Island with just a Zoom recorder and then club coconuts and stuff together.
You could. Well,
No
you did
synth
that.
needed.
You did that recently with your pots and
Yeah,
pans, didn't
so,
you?
so no
sample on a
synth
microphone.
needed then.
Yeah, you don't have to buy a synth. Yeah. What are we doing here? Let's just go home. All right. Well, on that note, I think
Alpaca farm.
alpaca farm, yeah. So those are not alpacas. I think what we'll do though, and don't go anywhere if you're watching live. We're gonna end the show, but we're not gonna end the live show. We're just gonna end the show for the main show. So we're gonna roll the stinger. Where's it gone? Anyway, say goodbye, everyone, and
It's gone to Desert Island.
but don't go anywhere because this is just the stinger.
Bye, everyone. Take care.